Hello and welcome to Straight to VOD, the number one place where you can get your reviews for VOD films, and this time we're going to be talking about the surprising sequel to the 2020 film My Spy, The Eternal City. My Spy, The Eternal City was directed by Peter Segal, who directed the first film as well as some comedy classics like 51st States and Tommy Boy. The film follows JJ, a veteran CIA agent who reunites with his protégé Sophie in order to prevent a catastrophic nuclear scheme aimed at the Vatican, which disrupts a high school choir trip in Italy. So, full disclosure, I actually liked the first My Spy film, and it kind of reminded me of films that I grew up watching, like Agent Cody Banks and Big Fat Liar. Those were like dumb teen family comedy films that weren't supposed to be taken seriously. They didn't focus on like in-depth storytelling. They were just good old popcorn family fun, some movies that you put on when there's a whole bunch of group of people, your family, and you just watch and just enjoy each other's company while there's something on the TV. And the biggest reason I feel like these kind of films really work is because of the characters in them and the actors that play them. And in this case, Dave Bautista and Chloe Coleman reunite and show that their chemistry from the first film hasn't missed a step, and it's kind of like elevated in this film because of the subplot that they have in this film of Dave Bautista trying to be a good stepfather and Chloe's character Sophie trying to just be a teenager and grow up and not wanting Dave Bautista around all the time. And of course, this is something that we've seen 100 times in films like these. And honestly, it's kind of the weakest part of the film. I mean, I went to the theaters to see Lizzie McGuire movie, so I know how this kind of story beats are going to play out.
Freaky, huh?
Way freaky.
So I know that some people might see this as just a lazy storytelling, or it's not original, and that therefore that's why they don't like this film. But I always go into these type of films knowing that this isn't the target audience. I'm not a 13-year-old girl, so don't think the story's gonna be for me. But they do have stuff in this film for an older audience. Pretty much if you go into any kids movies nowadays, there is some kind of adult themes or adult jokes in there for the adults, so they can be like, hey, this movie isn't terrible. There, I got that joke. And this film is no different because there is a lot, and I mean a lot, of adult jokes in here. So if you are one of those people or parents that got offended or was surprised by that adult joke in Inside Out 2, you know what I'm talking about, then you're probably gonna have a heart attack if you watch this movie with your kids. I do want to give a shout out and show some appreciation to Dave Bautista in this film. I just think that his career transitioning from WWE into Hollywood has probably been the most seamless transition that we've seen from a WWE star to Hollywood. And that even is going with The Rock, because in the beginning, The Rock, he didn't do so good. We all saw Scorpion's King.
This smoke, it causes the fire ants to abandon their homes, you see? All the sooner to feast on our naked heads.
You think it's funny?
It's a little bit funny, yes.
But I think that The Rock and John Cena walked so that Dave Bautista can run, because he started off at the gate with the Guardians of the Galaxy films, and now the dude's in the Dune franchise. I mean, you can't get better than that. But I just wanted to throw my appreciation to Dave Bautista because he's just done an amazing job, and I really enjoy seeing him in films. And his comedic timing is probably the best out of the wrestlers transitioned into actors kind of thing. And it's nice to see him not having to get totally naked just to make somebody laugh. And you know who I'm talking about.
Costumes. They are so important. Maybe the most important thing there is. I Can't open the envelope without the...
And now, even though that I did enjoy this film, and I might be the only one that actually liked it, but I am not blind, and I do have some issues with this film. In particular, I feel like this movie is a little bit too long. It clocks in around an hour and 60 minutes, and I feel like they could have shaved off 30 minutes of the film. Particularly, you can feel that in the second half of this film. It just meanders around, and it's kind of like, can you get to the point already? And this is the part of the film where I found myself pausing and looking how much time I had left, and started to look on my phone because it was just kind of boring at that point. And as I mentioned before, this movie is generic. You've seen this before. You've watched this movie before when you were a kid, or recently probably even. The characters are dumb. The story is dumb. Some of the jokes, most likely, you're probably not going to like because, you know, humor is subjective, and some people are going to like this humor and some people aren't going to like it. So if you're that kind of person that gets really annoyed about, you know, stuff being repetitive and stuff that you've seen before in comedy films, then you just don't watch this. Don't watch this movie. But for me, overall, I think that this movie was a lot of fun. Like I said before, I think it's a great film for the family. If you're not worried about those adult jokes in there and your teenage kids are like, you know, you talk to your teenage kids about life, I think you should be fine about that. And also, I feel like it's a good, just like gathering film, you know, this during the holidays. You can just throw this on in the background, and then you can do, you know, interact with your family, and then turn around once in a while and be like, wow, you know, Dave Bautista actually said that in a kid's movie. That's weird. But of course, guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Did you like this movie? Did you hate this movie? What do you think about Dave Bautista's Hollywood career? Do you think he's done a good job transitioning from WWE to Hollywood? I think so, but let me know what you think in the comments down below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. We are starting off fresh and new, and if you are that kind of person that wants to know about VOD films that nobody else is talking about or is too afraid of, then this is the place for you. Thank you so much in advance for all your support, and remember, guys, keep watching movies.